This city, a city that has shown transformative places around the world, a city that has become comparable to what an African Renaissance is, a city that has become something where we as Africans, we as the energy sector, is always proud to call it home. A city that paves the way for a future of what Africa, when it comes to investment, would mean. But a city that also understands what energy means. Guess what happened the last month? You also understand in Europe what energy poverty means. I wouldn't talk about Spain and Portugal. They have some real issues there. But we also know, to preface this, at the outset, 600 million Africans have no access to electricity, 900 million without access to clean cooking technologies. These gatherings are very, very important to drive us to foster positive change, that we fix that issue. You know why? Because energy is life. Energy is what drives humanity. Energy is what that cultivates a human experience that will shape the world. And for Africa, where you're going to find 1 in 4 persons in this planet Earth would live by 2050. This continent, more than ever, is going to be that continent that needs more energy today, tomorrow, and the future. And you are those drivers that are going to start that change, that journey to an African energy independence and an African energy dominance. It starts with you, and I urge you, as we drive these discussions over the next 2 days, we ensure that we put that at the forefront. But that can be said without acknowledging those that have been here and have had strides. As we saw in the opening video, I met with the Mauritanian minister yesterday, and I told him no country has been able to do cross-border gas projects. Didn't fight, didn't quarrel, they just got it done. They got it done. Mauritania, Senegal, last month, first cargo GTA, and more is going to come. Mr. Minister, we thank you. You showed that it's possible in Africa. That is not just going to be unitization in foreign countries, that in Africa we can come together and really get cross-border collaboration. You showed that it's also possible to kick the companies a little bit when they go out of hand, but it's also great to see that those dialogues continue. Frank Player needs the next contract because he's still trying to make more money with Technip Energies. And again, I'm a capitalist, okay? I'm not against people making money. I want each one of you to make a lot of money. If you don't like money, get out of the room. This is the wrong place. You got to make money. And Frank, il faut m'écrire un chèque pour moi, hein? But it's important that we also, Minister, as you hear, and as you talk to your colleagues, we give this industry the foothold that it needs. And it goes with us driving African content, not just local content, but African content. It goes with us empowering women in the industry to not just be behind and not just be people that just say, we just have a few women. No. In a continent with 53% women, it'll be very foolish, actually, to build an energy industry that do not prioritize the role of women. African women still the last hired and the first fired in our industry. We still have rules that still keep women behind when it comes to our energy development. And you know what? I will not stop saying it. It is right. It is the right thing to do when it comes to hiring women in our industry. Our industry would never achieve its full potential when we don't prioritize that role. The African woman is going to be those that shape our future, and it starts with energy. We don't have to wait to be forced to do it. We have to take leadership and lead on this issue. And I urge you, as we discuss investment today, that we prioritize that role. We prioritize STEM education. We prioritize and we incentivize it because that is going to shape that future that we want. I'm not going to talk about a few people in London. I love that city so much, and my wife is a Brit, so if I say that, I'll probably be banned from going anywhere. But I think they get the message. Mauritania, Sierra Leone, Libya, Namibia, Nigeria. Frontier, no producers, legacy producers going to shape. That's why it's important that we support Julius Rohn when it comes to building that damn FLNG in Nigeria. Nigeria needs an FLNG. It's not acceptable that we have one in Mozambique, Mauritania, Senegal, Congo, and Nigeria is still waiting. But we need to encourage those enabling environment. And to the Africans in the room, these investors, they're not your enemy. You know, I can say some truth. They are our friends. And it comes with how we treat our investor community. It comes with how we perpetuate messages. And sometimes we have to be able to have the courage of our convictions, to stem out issues around resource nationalism. That says it's our oil. It's always been your oil. But it wasn't your oil when it was still there. You couldn't drill. I just mentioned drill. I wouldn't say the other two words. It wasn't your oil when you didn't have the money to take it out and do it. It's a collaboration. And we in this room have to be those drivers that stem out issues around resource nationalism because it slowed down projects. I see my good friend from Tolo. I always tell this story. Tolo discovered Jubilee and Telenga Kingfisher in Uganda and Ghana. 3 years later, Ghana was producing. 17 years later, Uganda is arguing with Greta about producing. I think the IAE girl likes that. Rita, how are you? I think the IAE would probably love me talking about Greta. But it is important that we move. We create an enabling environment. We really support the companies. At the end of the day, we're competing for investments, not just between Fode's Sierra Leone and Maggie's Namibia. Maggie's already shown that she's part of Land of the Braves, but we're competing with Guyana. We're competing with Suriname. So our fiscals have to be right. We got to approve deals. We got to look at how we incentivize this. We got to incentivize training. And I mean it when I say I'm very happy the IAE is here, because for a while, I'll be very honest, we at the chamber did not like the IAE. We felt they put out messages that was wrong. Remember the days when they told us, stop oil and gas investments, stop boilers, stop everything? I wish they read those statements today again. They were wrong then, they're wrong today, but they changed. We love the IEA right now. We love where they're going. We love how they're seen with energy investments. We love to see them be a partner. And this city that is hosting them, we hope that you kind of shake them a little bit. But as I close my remarks today, I want to urge you that it's very important that as Africa, we continue our drive for a just transition. We need renewables, we need oil, we need gas. We are not against one another. Energy poverty and energy transition are two sides of the same coin. But we also need to say, as we discuss investments, we drive up energy entrepreneurs. African energy entrepreneurs, Omar is here. They're doing amazing things with imperatives right there in Congo-Brazzaville. But we also look at these new explorers, those that are investing in low-carbon solutions, like Perenco, with some of the Cape Lopez LNG projects they're doing there in Gabon. We look at new explorers that are really driving these solutions, be it they advise like Mazars, oh my God, they advise everybody and they audit the damn thing out of everybody. But we also look at the eco-Atlantics of the world, because they are going to be those that drive the future when it comes to explorers. It's so difficult to get money these days for exploration. But those guys, Gil Horstman, I don't know where Gil is, they put out there, they put the really tiny guy, little guy, great, stand up. Yes, he's still an explorer that we love. But those guys that still believe in putting millions of dollars in African exploration, because when we do that, We invest in African energy security. We invest in global energy security. When we develop orphan wells, as the minister from Libya would tell me, when we develop Libya's new explorations. I was in Libya in January. They're doing some amazing things in that country. They have amazing plans. They talk about these highway plans where they're going to go, they're on a pathway to 2.5 and they'll get to 4 million. And Libya is going to get it. They will get it. I tell you, don't bet out on Libya. They are going to change how we see energy. I see how they moved, and I would not bet against Libya. We need to stand with countries like that. Don't bet against Africa. Stand with Africa. Choose Africa. Invest in Africa. Thank you so much.